if I'd known that when I first started broadcasting, that would have saved a lot of heartache.
Oh, hey Ricardo.
Hi mate.
How you doing, man?
How are you?
Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you. What do you need?
Oh, well, I need your help, mate.
Okay, what is it?
So I thought I'd bring in the podcast king.
Cool.
Because today we want to help the people at home look at 3 different budget levels for podcast setups. So sort of straight from beginner to intermediate all the way up to sort of broadcast.
Yeah, mate, that's cool because I get clients of all shapes and sizes, and they all want different things. So it'd be really good to build something that can cater to all different types of markets.
Amazing. Well, I'll go and grab some gear and we can start building.
Mate, awesome.
Easy. Let's start it off with our low budget kit. So this is a kit that's going to cost under $5,000 for 3 cameras, lights, everything. So let's run through what we've got here. This is a very low budget setup, but if that's all you've got, this is going to be amazing. So starting off with the camera. We have the Sony ZV-1 II. These are great. You get 4K video out of these things, and you can power them externally through the power banks here, so you can keep running for a long period of time.
Oh, very light too.
Super lightweight, super small. So if you're on the go and you need something as compact as possible, this is where you look.
Mate, they've got really good stabilization as well. Look at that.
And the Zeiss lens on there is super sharp as well. You've even got a 2.8 aperture. They are awesome little cameras, super, super sharp, really nice video for under $1,000. Right, so that's the camera.
Yeah.
Obviously we need to pair that with an SD card. So we're going for a 512 gig V60 card here.
Yep.
You need a lot of space. Microphones, we've gone for the DJI Mic Minis. So I don't know if you've used these ones before.
We've talked about this before. When I first started doing podcasts, it was a choice between, do I want something really small and light and easily to be transported, or do I want something that looks and feels like a podcast? And when I first started, we were doing podcasts on lapel mics effectively.
Being so small, super compact, but also being able to run it directly into camera, so all your audio is already synced, and like you said, they've got that noise cancelling there, so you're going to get really crisp audio for such a cheap price.
And this is what I love about these as well. They've got a magnet. You see there, it's got a little magnet on it. So mounting these, often, again, the older ones, you used to mount them on the top. You could see them and they're chunky. You can mount these, so this is inside your shirt, and that's that. That's so cool.
Literally, you can mount them anywhere, super easy to use, super small.
No rustling, that's important.
Exactly,
well.
That's it. You keep it away from the clothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is why we chose the DJI Mic Minis there. In terms of lighting, now we've gone for a panel light here. This specific panel light is the Phottix S3 Mark II. Now these can be both wall powered or battery powered by MP batteries here. So again, great for location, because if you haven't got power, you can chuck a battery on there and run those. And we've paired that along with one of these smaller Phottix stands. These go up to 2 meters, so you get a decent amount of height. But yeah, the great thing about the panel is you don't need your softbox, right? It's giving you a soft light, so you don't need to pack a softbox. You can just chuck it in there. Only downside to them is you do need to be a little bit closer to the talon, but if you're shooting in quite an enclosed space, these sort of things are literally perfect. Lastly, we have our tripod here. So we've gone for the Firefly Creator tripod here. These things are just over $100, and for $100 you get a lot of tripod. These things are awesome.
So how does it, okay.
So this one sort of operates like a light stand,
like a light stand.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's sturdy, straight up.
Yeah.
And it can it lays down flat as well, so you can do low angle. Not that you'd want to do a low angle podcast, that would be weird.
Halo, get experimental. Maybe.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, like some type of French podcast. You want to be able to set up quickly with podcasts. Unless you're in a studio and you have hours to do it, it's pretty good. How sturdy is that?
Let's grab everything and let's go set it up and see how it works.
Cool.
Easy. So here we are in your studio space, Ricardo. Yep. So this is our first budget podcast setup. So we have our ZV-1 Mark II's set up. So we've actually flipped the monitors around so we can sort of see where we are framed up wise.
I've never used these cameras before. They're just looking at them. These quite bright and washed out. Like, can you grade? What's the grading capacity of these?
So currently we're shooting in S-Log 3.
Right.
So we are shooting in log.
hence why it looks a little grayscale on the screens. But then, yeah, you can go in, do your full color grading and stuff within these cameras.
That is pretty incredible. That's why entry-level camera.
Yeah, that's why we chose these cameras. They're super cheap, but they still offer that manual flexibility, exactly. Shooting S-Log, being able to change your aperture, your shutter speed. You still have all those options. And we've got our 2 Phottix panels up to light ourselves. Now, obviously, this is the budget setup. Ideally, we would want to be using maybe something a little bit softer, because you can see we are sort of getting some weird shadows in the back, or having an extra light to sort of light the background area. But, you know, we're on a budget here. This is
pretty much the entry level. Yeah.
This is the entry level, right? So we're using our DJI Mic Minis. Now, these guys actually have active noise cancellation, which is turned off at the moment. So if we actually want to turn it on, if we just pull them off, and then we hit the power button once, we get that yellow light.
Oh, you can actually set, so you set both of them.
So that's set both of them off. Yeah. Okay, cool, yeah. And there we go. Now we're in active noise cancellation. So that should help eliminate any background noise or sort of overlap.
Because I have done podcasts with wireless microphones in the past, and there is a tendency, and they work, there's that tendency to have, I guess, it's not phasing, but bleed from the other microphone, which can sound not great. So you actually put a lot of pressure on post, because you kind of have to cut in between the speakers. But with noise cancelling, like these DJIs, like that would eliminate that, which would be amazing. Yeah. Which would change the game. Again, like you effectively have a microphone set up that's that big.
Yeah, exactly. So this is all about budget friendly, compact, and that's pretty much what we're achieving with this.
Yeah, awesome.
So one thing to note as well with the ZV-1 is that they don't have a headphone jack. So to monitor your audio, you literally have to look at your levels, record it, and then play it back and play it through the speaker to make sure you're not peaking. So it's not ideal. You know, that's why we are looking at a budget camera here. But yeah, if you were going for a higher budget camera, usually you would monitor through that headphone jack.
And these DJIs don't have internal recording, do they?
They do not.
What you're hearing in the camera is what you're going to be getting.
That's what you're getting, exactly. Yeah. But the DJI Mic 3 or 2, they do. They offer it. Yeah.
And for something that is a podcast, obviously so audio, important, audio intensive, that you would really not want to potentially use the internal audio of those cameras. You may not, because they may not have the same quality as...
I mean, when we're talking podcast, audio is probably the most important thing.
Yeah.
So really, when you're looking at a budget, you should try and spend a little bit more on your audio stuff. Yeah. I mean, this is like the absolute minimum. Would definitely not be going for any internal recording on the cameras.
Yeah.
You need to be having an external microphone.
Yeah.
But that's it for the budget setup. Let's move on.
Pretty straightforward,
Pretty straightforward, and there's not much to it. And then, let's move on.
Okay, so now we've moved on to our mid-tier budget. Yep. So this is all the stuff I've brought out. So I suppose let's just run through what we've got, and we can sort of figure out why I've chosen for these products. So we've actually now gone onto a proper podcast microphone. So I've chosen the PodMic here from Rode. Sort of a good mid-budget. I mean, I don't know if you've had much experience with these ones,
mate. All Rode mics are top tier. Like, this is the mid-range kind of podcast option. Yep. Very common.
Yeah, and then we've gone and grabbed a boom arm. So this one's from Joby here, but sort of any boom arm, so you can clamp them onto the desk, pull them out. That's sort of your standard looking setup, which is what most people would expect from a podcast.
Does it have the thing where you can hide the cable in it?
Yes, it does. So it has the
sleeve
inside. So the cable runs through the sleeve. And then in terms of lighting, gone for X100 here. Now,
they're amazing.
You love these ones.
Yeah, they're so good. I mean, with podcasts, and this is like, we are talking remote podcast, so travel is really important. You want something you can pack down quickly, pack up quickly, it'll fit into a suitcase. Mate, there's nothing better than those guys. They really have changed the game. Like, you can fit 3 of those into a small carry-on suitcase.
Yeah.
Mate,
it's unreal, and you're getting 100 watts of power out of that thing. So these things are bright. Like, they power, like, they're crazy. And then to pair that as well, if you're going for something like this is a Phottix 65G capsule. So just a real compact little softbox, just so you soften that light, because obviously you don't always want to be shooting with that harsh light, but it keeps it compact, keeps it small. In terms of camera,
yeah, amazing.
These things are awesome.
So what is this? This is a Canon?
So this is the Canon R50V.
Yep.
So the V stands for video.
Yep.
So this thing is purely designed for video. So super compact, super small, and really affordable with the kit lens. You know, you'd use this 14 to 30 for your wide angle.
Yep.
And then alongside that kit lens, we've actually also grabbed a 50mm 1.4.
Yeah.
So that nice depth of field for your close-ups on either person. It's just gonna make it look real sweet.
Yeah, mate, and that's important as well, because often when you're like on the run, you don't get an opportunity to choose your location. It's not a studio, so you want to kind of soften those backgrounds. So something like this, if it does have that depth of field, like that's great.
That's such a good point. Like if you are shooting remote, like you said, if your background's
Hotel rooms,
anything,
mate.
if it's rubbish, just drop it out.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah.
So the XLR cable, the longer the better, really, just so you've got more versatility with it.
100%. Never go less than a 6 meter cable.
You've got to make sure you get a decent XLR cable though.
Which Rode is.
So the Rodes are good. These are their premium XLR cables.
Yeah.
Would definitely recommend going for this. Don't just go and buy some cheap XLR cable. They are going to that will affect you. They're going to get interference. So you want to make sure you get a decent XLR. And then obviously we've got our power bank here so we can power the camera. So then we have our Zoom H6 here. So this is our audio mixer. So this will take in all that feed and will give it a much higher quality rather than the DJI mic. So you run your XLRs from your PodMic straight into your Zoom and obviously just sync it up later on, get a clap in there and you're sweet.
And it does, this is a field recorder as well.
Yes, it's a field recorder as well, so you can even record through there if you need. A really good item to have when you're on the go and you need something small to record that audio. But you've also got the monitoring here, which is super important to make sure that your audio is sounding good.
Oh, these are the new Rode ones.
Yes, yeah. These
are cool.
These are great.
Yeah, how good.
Yep, so you want to make sure that the audio is sounding perfect. You're going to need to get some decent headphones to do that, to make sure that it's great. Obviously, SD cards, any sort of SD cards, we choose the Wise ones. We love Wise here, they're great. This is a 512 gig card. Definitely not going less than that. When you're shooting video for that period of time, it's a lot of storage. So
that'll go into the Canon. How much? 512 will give you what? 2 hours? 3 hours?
Probably around there, yeah. Light stands, these are pretty sturdy, these ones here. These are the 1004s from Manfrotto. They're really great because they stack together. Now, obviously this sort of stuff you're not going to be able to get on the plane. You're going to have to be checking all of this stuff in. So there's heaps of options for light stands there, but Manfrotto are a really good brand to look at. They've been in the game a long time. Sticking with the Firefly tripods here, for just over $100, you get a really nice little tripods. You don't have much weight to hold, so
but you want something you can literally set up in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything covered for this kit.
Yep.
And yeah, coming in at around 12 grand. Obviously
for 3 cameras.
For 3 cameras.
Pretty good.
The lenses, the mics, like everything. 12 grand to have an entire setup of this level is actually, really quite achievable.
Yeah, and you're paying, and if this is a commercial podcast, so theoretically, this would pay itself off in like 5-6 podcasts.
Yeah.
That's cool. And this will last. Like, all of these things are gonna last.
All right, I reckon we should gather this stuff up and let's set it up and see how it sounds.
I'm gonna start with the light.
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so here we are with our mid-tier setup. So we've had a bit of upgrade in the microphones, a bit of an upgrade on our lighting. So we've gone up to the X100 by Zhiyun's here. So we've got 2 of those with softbox on, one with a Bowens mount adapter and one just straight on, the smaller mount.
They're so powerful.
They're crazy,
really,
right?
Really
like they're such tiny little lights and you get so much power out of these things. So we're also using the Joby Wavo arms.
The cup holder.
With the little cup holder, which is kind of cute. So if you're drinking on the job, pop it in there.
Which we don't.
No, 100%. We do not drink on the job. All our audio is running through an H6 that's being charged by a Charge power bank. So this is very much on the go. You don't actually need any wall power for this. And that is giving enough power to supply the H6 to give Phantom to these mics. So yeah, you're basically running this completely without wall power.
And depending on the ampage of this, it could run from anywhere for like I mean, that's not done hardly. That's not even done it by 1%. So that realistically would probably last for 3 hours?
Yep. So this is the Charge power bank. So it's 20,000 milliamp hours, 140 watts, and it's airline safe. So you can take it on the planes, in the check-in, or carry on, no worries. You're all good. This thing apparently at the moment is supposedly going to give us 15 hours and 43 minutes of power. And we are recording, and it's been sat on 98% from literally when we started. So this thing's amazing. This is a full portable setup. You do not need wall power. Yeah. And you've got phantom power to your microphones using this.
What is so incredible about this? I mean, this is traditionally a field recorder, and it's so compact, and actually a really, really good field recorder. So the fact that this can also double as a podcast recorder is just incredible. And these preamps are amazing. So like it's got enough power to power these mics. With that charge, it's going to last, 10 hours. I mean, it's a great compact solution. And to be honest, if I had known that when I first started podcasting, that would have saved a lot of heartache, because it is so portable and so affordable.
Amazing.
Do these output into computers digitally? No, there's a line output you can do from here.
You can do a line output there, yeah. We're shooting on the Canon R50Vs. Nice, small, lightweight, really good for the streaming and podcasting. They can do USB-C streaming. At the moment, we're not actually linking them up to anything. So it's all being recorded internally on a 512 gig SD. Ideally, if you could run it all into the computer, that'd be good, but it's a little bit more expensive.
I mean, this is really the most compact setup you can get. And I would say it's close to professional broadcast setup. This whole thing will pack down into one suitcase. Yeah. And probably carry on, most likely.
Well, that's the thing. You could pretty much, I mean, apart from maybe the light stands and your tripods, you pretty much could get all this on the carry-on.
100%.
So if you've got, just a small Pelican case or something, chuck them in, take it all on the plane, and there you go. You've got a podcast on the go.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's just a really good alternative to getting better quality audio.
The preamps on this are great. They're not as good as obviously the big Rodecaster, they're not as good as the top end preamps, but they are still good. And you can clean up the audio in post, and most people wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
And last up, we have the high budget. This is your broadcast level, big budget. We're talking $15,000, $20,000 here.
I recognize this.
This is your area. This is your stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let's run through it. We've still got the X100 there. We've also brought out an X200. So if you are in a larger outdoor area, you want something with a bit more power, the X200 is going to give you that. These lights are still amazing. Awesome. Still super portable. 200 watts and such a small light is amazing.
I often use these as the key light, and that's a great backlight just for a bit of kicker off the back. It's beautiful.
And then we've also paired that up with a big softbox here. You obviously don't have to go this large. Chuck that on your X200, and you're going to get a real nice soft light on your subjects.
What brand is that one?
So this is a Phottix, again, the G capsule. These ones are great because you can sort of use them as a softbox, as a lantern. There's so many varieties that you can actually use this thing in, and they pack down super nice.
And these are Bowens mount as well.
Yeah, so you can get an adapter for them. I think this kit comes with one, and it will allow you to attach the Bowens attachments on there, so you can use a variety of them.
That's great.
But let's get to the most important bit, audio. So we've now gone up to the Procaster. So mate, these are the mics you use, right? These are mine, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
These are amazing. The sound is beautiful. They're warm. It's got that kind of really rich, high quality sound. They look good on camera. Usually I like to pair it with a little like a flag, just to kind of soften those plosives. But this is a beautiful microphone, and they're not too power hungry as well.
And then we've gone again with the NT-H50s for the monitoring. And then big difference here is we've got the Rodecaster video console here. Level. So let us know, what does this do? Why is this so important?
So there seems to be an emerging trend now where people want to get podcasts up really quickly or do live because the engagement online is huge. This allows you to basically turn your podcast into effectively a TV show, live, fully live. So I think it's 4 audio and video inputs. Mate, basically, if you record it, you press a button and it goes live. This is amazing. This also is good. It operates as a redundancy as well. That's what I've been really excited about. So it means that if anything happens, something happens, you think you've got at that redundancy record.
So yeah, like you said, for quick edits, getting up ASAP, these things are amazing and are a must-have. For that value, if you're getting serious into podcasting, definitely something worth investing in. Next up, we've gone for the Nikon ZRs. This is, again, I believe this is the camera that you actually you go for.
This has changed. These cameras have changed my life. They are amazing. They're super, super compact. The image quality is amazing. They're just, honestly, it's the perfect camera for a podcast.
Amazing. Yeah, and like you're saying, like there is no other cinema camera that is offering what this offers at that price.
Yeah, mate.
It's insane value for what you get. You know, and this kit here, we're chucking 3 of these in. Yeah. So, you know, and we've paired these up as well with the 85 f1.8s, which could also be interchanged with the 50s if the 85 is maybe a little too tight for you. But I mean, what a setup that is.
Yeah, and feel how light that is. You want to be able to pack this down in a bag and be able to go with it straight up, and it's really good. And also, the screen is big as well.
The screen is huge on these things. The monitoring is so easy with these. And again, for powering these things, there's a couple of ways you can do it. So obviously they accept USB-C power, but also if, say, you're not so keen on that and you don't want to get the tugging, you can go for something like this, which is what's called a dummy battery. Yeah. So you can also run these through either through DC power, you can run them through V-Lock, like the DTAP on V-Lock batteries. Or you can run it USB-C also.
Are these actually Nikon? No.
No, they're not. So they'll be, you've got Zilla make them,
right.
Condor Blue. So there's a couple different brands there, but they are, they're awesome. And of course, we have to go for a CF Express card.
Super important.
Very important. Now this one is a little bit out of the price range. Usually we would recommend something a little bit cheaper, but this is a CF Express Type 4, 1 terabyte. And I think, you know, you're going to need that sort of space.
And I'll say, from experience, you can't skimp on these because the better the card, you're looking at reliability, stability. Like cheaper cards do corrupt.
Absolutely,
and you can't risk it. So I've always spent the cash on getting the best of these, and these are wise. Okay, great.
So usually this one's a little bit more expensive. This is about 2.5, but the average now would be looking around 1,000 to 1,500.
See, that is, wow.
Yep. Unfortunately, that is the way of the world currently.
Yep.
As for tripods, we've gone super compact, but we've gone carbon fiber. This is the Leofoto LY224C. This thing is insanely lightwaight.
See, I love that. Yeah, see, this is, again, super important. You want to be able to fit 3 of these in a suitcase. Yep. And to be honest, I like having to be able to fit the tripods, the light stands, and the cameras all in one carry-on.
Yeah.
So, because that's the stuff that you can't lose, you can't leave anything. Yeah, that is super, super light. You could easily fit 3 of these and those cameras and still be underweight for carry-on.
Yeah, unreal.
That's great.
Carbon fiber, really well built. These guys are awesome.
Mate, that's rock solid.
Super, super lightweight, easy to use. And then literally last up, we just have the arms. So instead of the Jobies, we've just upgraded a bit and going for the Rode PSA-1 Pluses.
Yes.
I think, again, these are the ones that you go for personally.
Yep. It's great. I mean, how much is all this set you back?
So this entire kit here, we're looking around $25,000, which sounds like a lot, but when you actually think about it, you are getting heaps for this.
And this is the top of the top. You can make a podcast that literally compete with any podcast.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got everything you need here.
Yeah.
And that money, you know, you'll earn that back. If you make a good podcast, you'll get that back in no time. So yeah, that's the high budget. So, you know, let's go set it up and try it out.
Great.
Boom.
Okay, here we are.
Great.
This is our high budget setup. So the big difference with this one here is this Rodecaster video. Right. So this thing is pretty amazing. So what we can do with this is we have full control of all of our audio inputs and all our video inputs all within the one unit. And we've got it then connected up to the laptop here. So through this, I can control which video camera we are using. So we've assigned 1, 2, and 3, 1 being both of us, 2 being me, and 3 being you, Ricardo. So that you can basically control that through there. They also have this really cool feature, which is full auto. So now, without me even touching it, it's going to switch to me because I'm talking.
Hey, and then to wide, and then hopefully into my close. Whoa. Yeah, that's
there we go. So
that's amazing.
It's pretty crazy. So like it's all live editing straight away. And then you basically record it into an external SSD here. And that's it. You've got video and audio all within one file, all basically pre-edited.
And the technology in that, literally 10 years ago, would have been a huge desk and had like 2 people manning it.
And would have cost you stupid money. Yeah.
200 grand.
Yeah. And this thing here for what, around $1,500, it does all of that within a unit this size.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So just alone going up to, the final setup here, I think just this alone, it's like game changing.
Yeah.
And then we've got it linked up to your laptop here so we can fully see exactly what's going on. We can basically change every setting we would need all within here.
Yeah.
So we actually also have a micro SD slot on the back here. So that isn't for recording onto.
Yeah.
This is actually for graphics, storing things like that, or sounds. So you can even queue up soundboards and all that sort of stuff.
That's amazing.
Which is pretty crazy, and it's all within this tiny little unit.
Yeah, I mean the functionality of that is pretty incredible. Realistically, you don't effectively you're monitoring. That's what you're doing. So once I'm setting that auto cut, I'm just talking. I can focus on the person, so I can effectively produce, edit, do my podcast, and be interacting with my subject and not have to worry.
Yeah. Let me actually chuck it back on the old auto there. There we go.
Hey. Yeah, so it's amazing.
Yeah. So besides the Rodecaster video here, obviously we've also had a huge bump in audio quality with these Procasters. Now you use these all the time, Ricardo.
They're amazing.
Tell us about the sound.
I love the warmth of them. I think the way that they sound real and kind of warm, and I love that. I also love the way they look. I think they got that really nice, sleek look about them, and they just a step up from those PodMics. And yeah, they do need a little bit of power behind them to boost them. Sometimes I pair them with it's like just a gain device. But in general, the preamps of that Rodecaster video are good enough that they sound beautiful.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And then also in terms of lighting here, so we've got a 3-light setup here. Pretty simple. So we've got our 2 Zhiyun X200s, which are then paired with our Phottix softboxes. Now, obviously, you could go for a larger one on this side or a larger one on this side. It doesn't really matter. But we're getting a really nice soft light from them. And then we've just got a X100 mounted up on the back there, shooting out just a little red backlight. These lights are amazing. They're so small. But the amount of light that we're getting from these with something so small, you can take this anywhere.
I sometimes like to, and it's a luxury of having like a really nice small backlight just to pop from the background. But in general, this is just the perfect setup.
Yeah. Obviously, the other thing we're shooting on is the Nikon ZRs. So we've got 3 of these set up. So this is why, this is sort of premium quality we've got now in terms of video. You'll see that the quality is looking very, very nice.
And the good thing about this as well is it records the ISO, so you can grade them. Once it's all done, you can relink and grade and then relink, and then you've got something that is just ready to go. But look,
it's just the most streamlined way of recording a podcast. If you're on the go and you just need to, you need it pre-edited, you don't want to have to be spending ages to edit. This is doing it literally all for you.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for all the setups, Ricardo. So let's head back to the studio and we'll do an overview on all 3 packages. So that is everything. We've run through the 3 different budgets. Now, Ricardo, personally, which one would you choose?
Mate, I'm always going to go for the premium one. They look great. You've got more flexibility with it. At the end of the day, it's going to give your client a better result. However, it's if they're willing, to pay for it. So that comes with a premium price as well. And these Nikons, honestly, they're amazing. And everything you do on this is going to look like $1 million. It's great.
Yeah. Awesome. But what are your thoughts on the lower budget here? Because obviously not everyone's got $25K to spend on a setup. But if you're looking around $5,000, I think it's a pretty good setup.
When we talked about this before, I was like, entry level, blah, blah, blah. But seeing those and seeing all the different kits, I'm completely sold. Like if you were just starting out, if you just have a great idea for a podcast, you don't want to outlay a lot of money, you still want to have something that people can watch and enjoy, mate, you can't go wrong.
I know. Look, for $5,000 to get 3 of these little cameras, a whole setup,
so light.
It's unreal, and it's so small, so lightweight.
Yeah, that's great.
Wicked. But yeah, I mean, look, that's it. We've got 3 different budgets there, and I feel like we've covered very good ground with all 3 of these. And no matter which one you choose, you're going to get good results. At the end of the day, you can spend all this money on equipment, but it's more about the user. So these are really good options here. Either way, you're going to get great results from all 3.
And also start. I think that's the thing as well. Like if you have an idea and you want to do something, just start. Find your interest, and then you can evolve and you can grow and you can make something more established. You think about all the great podcasts, and often those guys start in the basement.
Yep.
Some of them didn't even have video. You know, so start with, you want to just try. Jump in, start with a low range, and work your way up.
100%. Couldn't have said it better myself,
Thanks.
mate. But that's everything. Thank you so much, Ricardo, for joining us and sharing your expertise. If you want to read more about these package deals, there'll be a link in the description. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and we will catch you in the next video.